Hi, I'm Lou and I've ridden my Airwheel for about 2.5 years and the battery is finally dead, so today I'm going to show you how to replace it. The way I can tell I need a new battery is the way these 4 power indicators are acting. When I first turn it on, I get 4 battery lights. The real telltale sign is that when you're going up a hill, it goes down to 2 immediately. And when you go back down that same hill, it goes up to 3 or 4 again. To take it apart, we'll remove these 5 screws, these 3 screws, and then flip the wheel over and do the same thing on the other side. There are also 2 here in the handle. The battery is on the side without the lights and buttons, so we just lift this off and flip it over. While we're in here, let's clean this up with pretty much any kind of cleaner. And remove this battery cover with 8 screws. Pull the old one out. So the question is, how do I get the right battery? Well, you can go to Airwheel and pay quite a bit and get a replacement battery, or you can Google for a off-brand replacement battery, and I got this for around $90, I think, which is cheap compared to this. But just double checking the numbers, this is around 60 volts and 170 watt hours, and this is 60 volts and 2,900 milliamp hours. And that's actually the same. The way you convert is you take 170 watt hours divided by 60 volts, gives you amp hours times 1000, gives you milliamp hours 2833, which is close enough to 2900. Actually, this one is a bit better than this one in terms of storage capacity. So it's a fairly simple plug and play replacement, but there's glue on this connector, so you'll have to use a screwdriver to try to pry that off. And then this comes unplugged. This second connector has a little lever you press right there, and then you can pull them apart. Out with the old, in with the new, and oops, my connectors don't match. So not a big deal, we have to cut the connectors off the old battery and the new battery. By the way, cut one wire at a time so you don't short out the battery. That is black then red, not both together. Okay, now we have to connect the red and black thick power wires to these thick power wires and the red and black thinner sensor wires here. So I'll use a wire stripper like this. And don't let your red and black wires touch once you peel them. In retrospect, probably better to do one wire at a time. If you happen to have some heat shrink tubing, put it on this wire. So we want to fan these out, put them together, and twist. Probably a good idea to solder this connection, or you can also take some Cat 5 wiring like this and strip it and wind it tightly around this connection several times. Now bend that over one way or the other and slide the heat shrink tubing over it. Try to center it and shrink it with a heat gun or a torch. If you didn't happen to have heat shrink tubing, you can just wrap the heck out of it with electrical tape at this point. And do the same thing on your black power wire. And do the same thing with your black and red sensor wires. Now we have the right connectors. The power wire is the thicker wire and it goes on here. And here's your sensor wire, and it only goes in one way. If you have a hot glue gun, you could maybe put some more on here, but I'm just going to use electrical tape. Before I bolt this thing all back together, I'm going to temporarily stand it up and turn it on and see if it works. Looks like it's fine, except it needs more charge. We'll drop the new battery back in the battery hole. Put in these rubber spacers. You're going to want to route the wires down this way before you put the metal lid on here. And I'm not going to go through all the steps in reverse. Basically, screw this back in and then screw the whole thing back together. Here we are after an overnight charge, and you can see I have a full 4 battery lights again. And I'm going to go up an even bigger hill, and you can see I have 4 lights the whole way. Thanks for watching.